Welcome back to Braintree Today. I'm Sarah Hamilton and you're watching BCAM TV. Now we'll be getting into our latest stories from the week. The attacker who killed 2 American soldiers and a civilian interpreter in an ambush on U.S. forces in Syria last week was a member of the Syrian security forces who was set to be fired for holding extremist views, according to Syrian and U.S. officials. The attack illustrated the security challenges facing Syria's new president, Ahmad al-Sharaa, a former Islamist militant who is trying to consolidate control over the country after the collapse of former President Bashar al-Assad's regime last year. The incident also revealed the difficulties ahead for the new Syrian president in combating Islamic State militants amid concerns about the Damascus government's ability to screen its own forces and recruits. The shooters who attacked a Hanukkah celebration at Cindy's Bondi Beach on December 14th appear to have been inspired by Islamic State, according to Australia's Prime Minister, as investigators looked into the planning behind the country's deadliest mass shooting in nearly 30 years. Police said they found 2 homemade Islamic State flags, alongside improvised explosive devices in a car registered to a 24-year-old man accused with his 50-year-old father of carrying out the attack, in which 15 people were killed and dozens were injured. Police also said they were examining a trip by the 2 men to the Philippines last month as part of the investigation. Authorities in the Philippines said they hadn't found anything conclusive regarding whether the pair had connections to any terrorist group or received training in the country. The southern Philippines for decades was home to a number of violent Islamist insurgent organizations, notably the Abu Sayyaf group. Australia has designated the mass shooting as a terrorist attack on the Jewish community. Ford Motor Co. is pivoting away from its once ambitious electric vehicle plans amid financial losses and waning consumer demands for the vehicles, in lieu of investments in the more efficient gas engine and hybrid EVs. The Detroit automaker, which has poured billions into electrification along with most other automakers, said it will no longer make the F-150 Lightning electric pickup truck, instead opting for an extended range version of the vehicle. Several other automakers have made changes regarding their product plans in recent years as consumer demands for EVs in the U.S. hasn't quite met expectations. Ford said it will now expect half of its global volume will be hybrids and extended range EVs, which will also incorporate gas-powered engines. The Department of Justice has begun releasing the Epstein files, revealing the names of more than a dozen politicians and over 1,200 victims. The release was part of the Epstein Files Transparency Act, signed into law by President Donald Trump in November. Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche explained that the Justice Department conducted an exhaustive review to determine which files could be made public, while ensuring the protection of victims' identities. The release also includes documents related to Epstein's associate Ghislaine Maxwell and various records of Epstein's travel and financial networks. The Justice Department has posted the files online at justice.gov/Epstein. Did you think Thanksgiving travel for the holiday was bad? With Christmas almost here, AAA forecasts a record 122.4 million Americans will travel at least 50 miles from home during the year-end holiday period from December 20th to January 1st. That's a 2.2% increase over last year's record of 119.7 million travelers. The majority of travelers will drive to their destinations, benefiting from gas prices that have fallen below $3 per gallon for the first time in 4 years. Air travel is also expected to be heavy, with over 8 million Americans flying domestically, which is a 2.3% increase from last year. However, travelers should be prepared for higher costs, as domestic flight prices have risen by 7%, averaging almost $900 per ticket. The busiest travel days will be just before Christmas, while flying on the holiday itself is generally cheaper. Thanks for watching Braintree Today. We'll be right back with more after the break.
I'm Mayor Erin Joyce, and I'd like to tell you about some important projects we're working on here in Braintree to improve the quality of our local water bodies and to protect our town from the dangers of flooding and stormwater runoff. Stormwater runoff is the water generated from rain and snowmelt that flows over hard surfaces and does not soak into the ground. Stormwater runs through a system of pipes in the street and into our local water bodies, such as the Cochado River, Farm River, Manatequit River, and Sunset Lake. In Braintree, we have a separate sewer system. So what does that mean? That means that there are actually 2 separate pipes in most streets that carry stormwater and sanitary sewer separately. So when it rains and water washes into our catch basin system, it ties into the stormwater system, which transports water to our water bodies. Over the past 5 years, the town of Braintree has been working hard to maintain and improve our stormwater drainage systems. Now, we're constructing retrofits to the drainage system. These drainage retrofits use the natural process of infiltration to improve water quality and reduce potential flooding in our neighborhoods. At Plain Street Cemetery, we're constructing a bioretention basin. What that is right before the water, which today runs piped to the Manatequit River. This project intercepts that pipe before it goes and discharges into the river. And it creates a place for the water to go first, which is the bioretention basin. And in that basin, plants and engineered soils will filter the water so that that water that's coming off of the neighborhood right now, unfiltered, untreated, will be collected into a rain garden, and that provides a lot of pollution control before the water ultimately makes it to the Manatequit River.
I'm Rachel Horak. I live here in Braintree, and I'm the president of Sustainable Braintree. We think of ways that we can help our residents of Braintree live healthier lives that are in better harmony with our planet. Bioretention basin at the cemetery site is part of an overall project to expand the Braintree Cemetery. And this project will not impact current burial sites, nor will it impact future burial sites. After the bioretention basin is constructed, we add native plants that help filter out the pollutants so that the water is a little bit cleaner. Some of the ways that residents can help are reduce the amount of fertilizers that you use on your lawn, picking up pet waste, reducing the amount of garbage in our streets, and also raking the catch basins that you might see on the roadways.
To pay for these projects, we're leveraging grants from the Mass DEP, the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, and the Metropolitan Area Planning Council. As a Braintree resident, you should know that the town is actively working on projects that help improve the water quality in our water bodies. With your help and these projects, we will help filter pollution and keep Braintree's rivers, lakes, and streams beautiful for years to come.
Welcome back. On Tuesday, December 16th, Town Council President Charlie Ryan administered his last official meeting as Town Council President and as a Town Councilor. Councilor Ryan and Councilor Hume decided earlier this year not to run for re-election, and 2025 will be their last year serving as Town Councilors. Current Mayor Aaron Joyce and former Mayor Joseph Sullivan, as well as other Town Councilors, made remarks celebrating their decades of service to the town. Here's more from Councilor Ryan.
But let me start off by saying it's been my privilege to serve as a Braintree Town Councilor. I moved into my house in 1996, and I went to water the grass. And those of you who have heard this story, I apologize, but I went to water the grass, and I got a knock on the door, and they told me, you can't have an automatic sprinkler, you have to shut the sprinkler off, and you have to water your grass by hand. And I said, why? And they said, because we're under water restrictions and you can't have an automatic sprinkler. I said, you're building 300 condos down the street. Why is there water restrictions? And they said, if you don't like it, run for Water and Sewer Commission. So I said, I'm going to run for Water and Sewer Commission. And I did, and I got elected, and I went to my first meeting, and I got elected chairman of the Water and Sewer Commission. And I think the next week I was standing in front of town meeting, telling town meeting that we were under administrative consent order and we were fined by the Department of Environmental Protection $75,000, and it was like trial by fire, being on the Water and Sewer Commission. And it was really, people used to say it's good entertainment watching the Water and Sewer Commission meetings. Becoming a part of the town council is something I really enjoyed. I've been very fortunate to be president of the town council 3 times. I've been the vice chairman of the town council, vice president 3 times. So I've been really lucky. It's such an honor to be able to serve your community, to You know, it's people, we always say how great the town of Braintree is, and it's really because of the people in the town of Braintree and the people that serve the town of Braintree. And when we sit here as councils and we see all the people that come before us and all the groups, whether it's the baseball team that made the Little League World Series, or, you know, Ian Tolman from the Marge Crispin Center, and you look at all the people that do such wonderful work in the town of Braintree. We're really lucky that we live in such a great town.
To watch the full town council meeting, tune into BCAM TV Government Channel, Channel 8 on Comcast, and Channel 26 on Verizon. And check out our YouTube page at youtube.com/BCAMTV. The town of Braintree and Mayor Joyce would like everyone to attend the official 2026 swearing-in ceremony on Friday, January 2nd, 11 a.m. at Braintree Town Hall. There will be new appointments for the Town Council, School Committee, their library trustees, Braintree Electric Light Department, and the Braintree Housing Authority. If you can't make it, the event will be broadcasted live on BCAM TV. The Braintree Police Department would like to send a huge thank you to the Braintree Police Officer Megan Hamilton and first responders who acted quickly and fearlessly at an accident at Five Corners on Monday, December 15th. Their teamwork and professionalism and calm under pressure made a real difference during a dangerous situation. Winter is here in New England. So are increases in everyone's electricity and gas bills. Electricity and natural gas companies are being asked to explain their soaring fees and look for ways to reduce cost. The Department of Public Utilities announced on Monday, December 15th, that they will be investigating rising prices and aiming to make bills more understandable. The DPU noted that complicated utility bills increase customer confusion and mistrust. The state of Massachusetts attempted to make bills clearer, but failed because different companies use different billing services. Electric and gas companies under the DPU's jurisdiction are National Grid, NSTAR, Eversource, and Liberty Utilities. The DPU will be requesting reports from each company detailing what each distribution charges for and why it is necessary, along with a host of other details. Those reports will be due January 30th, 2026. Here are a couple of things to be aware of for the week of December 22nd. Town offices will be closed from noon on December 24th through Christmas Day, December 25th, in observance of the holiday. Parents and kids are invited to come out and play at their public library. They'll be having their family board games and play on December 26th from 10 a.m. to noon in the children's room. For more information, visit braintreema.gov. Thank you for watching Braintree Today on BCAM TV. We'll be right back with more stories in the area.
Hello, I'm Bill O'Donnell, Register of Deeds for Norfolk County. The holidays are a time of joy, but for some, a time of stress. We see firsthand at the Registry of Deeds the struggles of people when it comes to mortgage foreclosures. A number of families in the county struggle to put food on the table. Realizing that 1 out of every 9 Massachusetts households is considered food insecure, the Registry of Deeds continues to hold its annual holiday food drive to benefit struggling families here in Norfolk County. We are asking for your help in collecting non-perishable donations such as canned meats, soups, vegetables, breakfast cereals, pasta, spaghetti sauces, along with household paper goods. To make a difference this holiday season, all you have to do is drop off a donation to the Registry of Deeds lobby, located at 649 High Street in Dedham, between the hours of 8 a.m. and 4:30 p.m., Monday through Friday. If you cannot get to the Registry of Deeds, please check our website at www.norfolkdeeds.org for a food pantry location in your community. Donations are needed throughout the year. Working together, we can truly make a difference. Thank you.
Welcome back to Braintree Today. Now let's get right into more stories. Brian Walsh was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole for murdering his wife Anna in January of 2023. Judge Diane Frenier also sentenced Walsh for 2 lesser charges that he pleaded guilty to, resulting in 20 years for misleading a criminal police investigation and 3 years for improperly disposing of Anna Walsh's remains. Each of the charges are to run consecutive to the life sentence. Anna Walsh was last seen alive after a New Year's Eve dinner party at their Cohasset home. Investigators said Brian Walsh had killed her and dismembered her body. He was last seen dumping items, including things with her DNA on it, in apartment complex dumpsters in Abington, Brockton, and Swampscott. Investigators also found internet searches made on January 1st that included how to dispose of a human body and can you throw away body parts. Anna Walsh was reported missing on January 4th, first by her employer and then by her husband. The jury deliberated for 5.5 hours over 2 days before finding Walsh guilty of first-degree murder on December 15th. In Quincy, the city's emergency management director, Ali Sleeman, has been placed on unpaid leave after his arrest on 1 count of assault and battery on a household member and 1 count of witness intimidation. The witness intimidation charge is a felony. Police also confiscated a city-owned vehicle at Sleeman's residence at the time of his arrest on Friday, December 12th. In September of 1999, Sleeman was found guilty of assault and battery by Quincy District Court. Then, in 2000, Sleeman was charged with assault and battery. The case was continued without a finding in January of 2001. During the arraignment on Monday, December 15th, Norfolk County Assistant District Attorney Kelsey Shea said Sleeman and the accuser had an argument in a vehicle where Sleeman grabbed the accuser by the hair and slammed her head into the steering wheel. Sleeman then took her phone when she attempted to call 911. Judge David Frank ordered that Sleeman be released without bail under the condition that he stay away from the alleged victim. Shea noted that an emergency restraining order has also been filed. Sleeman pleaded not guilty at the arraignment. The judge scheduled a February 13th pretrial hearing. Responding to a 911 call on Saturday, December 13th, Quincy police arrived at an apartment complex on Falls Boulevard at 11 p.m. where they found a man with neck wounds and a woman dead in the bathroom. The man, 34-year-old Giovanni Garcia, was taken to Boston Medical Center for treatment. On Monday, he was arraigned at the hospital on 1 charge of first-degree murder and 1 charge of assault and battery with a dangerous weapon. He was held without bail. The woman who died is 26-year-old Atziri Cardenas Toreros, according to the police report. Garcia's sister-in-law called 911 at 11:03 p.m. on December 13th. She had visited the apartment to do a wellness check after Garcia texted suicidal messages. When she entered the apartment, Garcia said, "I killed her," multiple times and told her that Cardenas Toreros' body was in the bathroom. The responding officer found Garcia on the ground in a semi-conscious state, covered in blood with a severe neck laceration, saying, "Kill me, kill me." The report says a probable cause hearing has been scheduled for January 14th. In Hull, one of coastal New England's most beloved holiday symbols is back at Mariners Park, a towering lobster trap tree built from 20 layers of traps stacked about 30 feet high. This year's display briefly featured a doorway so visitors could step inside and admire the lights, but Hull officials closed off access on Tuesday, December 2nd, putting up fencing and keep-out signs after safety concerns were raised. Kelly says the structure, built on town property by volunteer lobstermen, has blown over in past years, and he'd rather take criticism for limiting access than risk someone being hurt, especially with no one supervising the site. The tree, near the Hull Yacht Club and Nantasket Beach Saltwater Club, will remain up through mid-January and can still be enjoyed from the outside. Boston Children's Hospital announced Wednesday that they received a gift of $100 million from philanthropists Karen and Rob Hale. The existing Hale Family Center has been invaluable, offering amenities such as a shower for parents who find themselves staying overnight due to a mental health crisis in the family, a new state-of-the-art facility on the Brighton campus, which became part of the Boston Children's Health System in 2023, will be named the Hale Family Building. It will include 24 slots for a partial hospital program and an intensive outpatient program, a 14-bed community-based acute treatment program, a dental suite, 4 operating rooms, and a pharmacy. Dr. Kevin B. Churchwell, CEO of Boston Children's Hospital, said in a statement, "It reflects extraordinary compassion and a shared belief that every child deserves not only physical health, but also mental wellness." The new center is expected to open in 2029. Thank you for tuning in to Braintree Today. We'll be right back with more in sports and entertainment.
Hi, I'm Tom Lyons, a retired captain from the Quincy Fire Department and the author of the book Fighting Fire, A Proactive Approach. Let's talk portable electric space heater safety. These heaters must not be left unattended. Place them on a stable base 3 feet from combustibles. Their use is not recommended within a bedroom, but if you must do so, place a smoke detector on the ceiling within the bedroom. Plug a portable space heater directly into the outlet, avoiding extension cords. Thus, do not use lamp cords or power strips for this purpose. Are portable, unvented propane and oil-filled heating appliances safe to use within a residence? No. Massachusetts prohibits their use. These heaters produce asphyxiant gases. These gases can render an occupant incapacitated or dead. Please consider your safety during these upcoming colder months. Thank you for doing so.
Welcome back to Braintree Today. Now here's Chris Curran with the latest in Braintree High School sports.
The Braintree girls basketball team has started their season hot with a 73-27 win over Weymouth, but took a loss to a good Needham team that started their season 3-0. Let's see some highlights from the Weymouth game. Weymouth is a good team to start the season early with. They have no wins in their last 23 games. This win can give Braintree's young team some confidence to start the season. Braintree outscored Weymouth 24-5 in the first quarter, but Braintree ended up slowing down in the second, but kept the game almost the same, now leading 37-17. Braintree opened up the game in the third to a 56-21 score, and Weymouth only ended up scoring 2 points in the final quarter to Braintree's 17, leaving the final score 73-27. While the boys basketball team has had a tougher road to start the season, losing to two 3-0 teams in Walpole and Needham, and beating Weymouth 67-61. This team is young and has a new head coach. They are still trying to find their identity and look to get right against Milton this week. The girls hockey team has started their season off really hot. They are 3-0-1 in their first 4 games, with wins over Walpole, Weymouth, and Needham, and a high-scoring tie versus Boston Latin. They already surpassed their win total from last season. And let's look at some highlights from that Weymouth game.
And the puck still is free. Waiting to see a shot attempt from Braintree. Nice pass, open goal, they score! It's Mincello! Off the face-off, Braintree gets possession. The two sides, though, lock up against the boards. Braintree's going to have to hurry. Here is Walsh. Walsh is going to shoot it, and scores! Makes its way through! Wraparound try, save, and the rebound squirts in, and they score!
The boys hockey team has been all over the place to start the season. They started their season with a tight 2-1 win over Walpole, then had a blowout loss to Weymouth 5-0, and a tie 1-1 versus Needham. This leaves them 1-1-1 on the season, and they hope to get back in the win column with a game versus Brookline. That has been the start of the winter season for Braintree Sports. Now let's send it back to Sarah in the studio.
Thanks, Chris. Now here are some new movies and shows that have been creating some social buzz. First, David. In an effort to save the kingdom of Israel from the Philistines, a young Bethlehem musical shepherd and poet warrior named David, who is predestined to become the next king of Israel, embarks on a journey from beyond the shadows of the Philistines to face the giant Goliath in an attempt to show the Israelites that true power lies not from within kingship, but in their faith of God and freedom from their enemies. This film stars Phil Wickham and Lauren Daigle. You can see David in theaters on December 19th. Up next, Wake Up Dead Man, a Knives Out mystery. Private Detective Benoit Blanc is back at it again in the third installment of the Knives Out mystery movies. This time around, Benoit is called to upstate New York in a Catholic church. Father Jude is caught in the crosshairs of a whodunit. During the Mass on Good Friday, Father Wicks, who gives spiteful sermons to his parish, takes a break in a nearby closet where he suddenly collapses. Father Jude rushes to his aid only to find Father Wicks dead and bloody, and now Father Jude is the prime suspect. The local sheriff calls the one and only Benoit Blanc to solve this impossible murder mystery. This film stars Daniel Craig, Josh O'Connor, and Glenn Close. You can watch Wake Up Dead Man, a Knives Out mystery on Netflix now. Finally, Stranger Things Season 5 is coming to an end. After the events of the 4th season in the fall of 1987, the group seeks to find and kill Vecna after the rifts open in Hawkins. The mission becomes complicated when the military arrives in Hawkins and begins hunting Eleven. As the anniversary of Will Byers' disappearance approaches, the group must fight one last time against a new deadly threat. Volume 1 was released on November 26th, Volume 2 will be released on December 25th, and the finale will air December 31st. Starring Winona Ryder, David Harbour, and Millie Bobby Brown, you can watch Stranger Things Season 5 now on Netflix. That'll do it for news today. Don't forget, Verizon customers can watch BCAM TV in high definition on channel 2128 and Comcast on channel 1073. I'm Sarah Hamilton, and thank you for watching Braintree Today on BCAM TV. We'll see you next time.